Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Isabel and this is my library. In today's video, I bring you a really big book haul. I can't stop buying books. Every time I sit down to relax and watch booktube, which is one of my favorite things to do when I'm not recording videos or editing my own videos, I start watching booktube and all of my favorite people start recommending me more and more books that I need to read. And here we are again with a huge book haul. My book haul, guys, this time around is so big, I think I'm going to have to split it up. I'm going to have to split it up into multiple videos. That's how big my book haul has gotten. And I've been saving them and waiting to show you guys. And I think I waited way too long because now I'm surrounded by books. And I'm just going to monitor the time of and how long this video is getting, and I'll show you as many books as I can, but just note that I think I have like 2 or 3 videos worth of books that I have acquired. Let me get started on showing you these cool books, these beautiful covers, these interesting, premises, and all these books that now I have and I can't wait to read, and I can't read all of them because I'm in the middle of a bunch of other books and you know how it is. But these are some of my favorite videos to watch and obviously favorite videos to film. So let's get started on all of the great books, or most or half of the books that I have acquired within the recent months. So to facilitate this video a little bit, I've clumped a few things. So I'm going to show you things that go together, kind of together. I might not find all the pieces because, like I told you, I have quite a few piles that now I need to show you and then put somewhere in my library and figure out what their new home is going to be. But to start us off, I want to show you my most recent additions to the Everyman Library pocketbooks. And in this case, these are these poetry collections. And they're spooky. They're just spooky poem books. All right, so I'm going to show you each of the covers, these beautiful covers first, and then I'll walk you through each of them. So we have this beauty, which is Poems Dead and Undead. Isn't this stunning? And I love the size of these. I love the artwork. And they look so pretty on the shelves. I have shown you these before because I do have about 5 or 6 of them, for different poets and stuff like that. But these are wonderful. Look at these, guys. Look at this one. This one is Poems Bewitched and Haunted. I'll show you the back. And that side view is so beautiful. This screams Halloween and spooky time and fall time. I also got this one, which is Spellbound, Poems of Magic and Enchantment. Look at that, guys. Look how beautiful this is. Isn't that stunning? And then the last one in this collection that I got was Monster Verse, Poems Human and Inhuman. And it has that beautiful like Loch Ness monster thing going on. I absolutely love how these are divided. So they give you like the little poem, and then at the bottom it tells you the author name and their date of birth and date of death. And these are all, by the way, like classics. Like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with these books, but these are all by renowned authors and poets and very, very like important. We have like Walt Whitman in here, Edward Hirsch, Lee Young Lee, who's one of my favorites. It's just full of these awesome, awesome poets. And yeah, that's how it's gonna look on my shelves. Look how beautiful that is. I love the different colors. And these are not super pricey, but you can get them on sale. I know, see, some of these are like $18, which I know is a lot for like a tiny little book like this, but you can find some of them on sale, and it's just they're really good quality, and you know, they look beautiful on your bookshelves. So yeah, these are my newest additions to this particular collection or type of book. And I love how they're all different colors, and then they all have a ribbon that kind of matches. It's so beautiful. So I'm happy to give these a home. All right, so next I added a couple game books to my collection. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you these together. So the first of the game books that I want to share with you is this logic puzzle book for adults, volume 1. So there are more of these. And I really like this type of puzzle. I'm not sure if you guys have done these before, but you go like fact by fact, and you're like scratching off or marking. And I just really love what these types of puzzles do to like my brain. I remember, I think it was when I took my, I want to say my GRE for grad school. I remember really enjoying, I know it's like a test, right, that you have to pass in order to like, you know, get admitted to grad school. So besides the fact that I was pretty nervous, I did enjoy a lot of the puzzles that they gave us, because they gave us some math stuff that was like puzzly in nature, and a lot of them were like this. So basically, it tells you like, you know, you have like, it says the tattoo artist, and then weekday, design, location, and then the client, the location, and the design. And basically it tells you like, okay, so and so can't be here because they were here, and so, and then it helps you kind of figure out who was where, when, and how, kind of a thing. But I really love, and I love all puzzles, as you guys know, like I'm a big puzzle person. I've told you about my collection of puzzle books, but this particular kind of puzzle really makes my brain work in an interesting kind of way. So I really like those. And then I got another similar one to that, which was murder mystery logic grid puzzles, right? And then this is pretty much like a simpler one of those. I think this is like easier because it looks like smaller, and the smaller they are, I think like the easier that they are. So I might do, I haven't done these in a while, so I might start with this one and then work my way here. But I love these. These are so much fun. And then I got the two missing ones that have come out that I have not purchased yet for Myrtle. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but I love the Myrtle books. I believe I have the purple, the orange, and the green. I think those were the three that I had. But then they have these new ones. So this one is Myrtle, the Case of the Seven Skulls. And it's 64 wildly wicked logic puzzles. And these are similar to that. If you've played Myrtle before, they're kind of similar to that. They give you like the facts of the people and the places, and then you kind of have to figure out who done it based on like the clues, right? So who, what, and where based on the clues. I find, guys, that these are difficult. Like the Myrtle books are difficult. Like you start off and you do a couple of them and you're like, oh, okay, like I kind of get it. I know what I have to do, but then they get really difficult. I always feel like I'm missing a clue, like I can't figure it out, you know. So I like doing them because I find them very challenging. And I also enjoy puzzles that are not as challenging too. But this Myrtle one, these are great. And then I got this other one, which is Myrtle, the School of Mystery, 50 Seriously Sinister Logic Puzzles. So this is like, again, another edition that I did not have. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this one. And if you've never seen the Myrtle books, I highly recommend that you play with them if you're a fan of puzzles. These are really, really cool. And yeah, so those are my 4 new puzzle books that I have acquired. So the next thing that I acquired, which is, you know, I'm trying to get the puzzle books and the little compilations of things before I get into like just my regular books, right? The next thing that I got is this Agatha Christie reading tracker. Read, solve, and record. So you guys know that I am really into Agatha Christie. Every year I participate in the Read Christie Challenge, which basically gives us 12 prompts, and 12 recommended books that we should read throughout the year, one per month. And I I do it every year. As a matter of fact, I'm actually reading the August book already. So if you watched my TBR video, I said, oh, I hope I can get to the Christie this month, the 1-2 buckle my shoe. I'm actually reading it already, so I'm proud of myself that I made time to read my Christie this month. But anyway, I digress. The whole point of this is that I've always wanted to do a better job of tracking the Agatha Christie books that I've read. Simply because I have checklists and I have a page in my reading journal for it. But when I saw this existed, guys, I had to have it because as an Agatha Christie fan who's trying to read through her entire collection of books, I needed this, right? So let me show you what it is. So first, look at the end papers. It's like the titles of her books, like all the covers. It's all the covers of the books. How beautiful is that, right? Look how pretty. So then what this does is, right? So it has this pretty little page that says this book belongs to, blah, blah, blah. Then it gives you a checklist in the table of contents, right? With an actual checklist, if you see there. And it's first it shows you the Hercule Poirot books. Then it gives you the Miss Marple ones. Then it gives you the Tommy and Tuppence ones. Then the Parker Pine books. Then the Harley Quinn books. And then all the standalone stories, right? And lastly, the Mary Westmacott books. So then it starts with the first section, which is the Hercule Poirot. And I love the little icons. Look at the little hat and the little mustache. But guys, what it does is, in order of all the Hercule Poirot books, it gives you the title of the book, and then it gives you date started, date ended. Did you crack the case, yes or no, and your rating. And then you write down the victims, the clues, the murders, your favorite quotes, and any notes that you have. And it has this for every single one of the books. Hello? Like, I love this. Like, what a beautiful way of documenting each of the books and your thoughts on it. And they're already pre-printed there and they're in the order of publication, which I know a lot of people like reading them in the order that they were published or whatnot. I think if you're an Agatha Christie fan and you're reading her books, you know, this is wonderful. I know I've read a lot of them and now I'm gonna have to go back and fill them out. Or I don't know if I'm gonna start wherever I am now and then eventually do a reread because I've forgotten a lot of them. You know, I've read a lot. I want to say maybe I've read like 30 Agatha Christie books, you know, out of her like 80, I think, in total. So I have read a lot of them, but some of them I've read years and years back, you know, so I don't really remember them fully. So I'm just glad that this exists and I was able to get it. And I thought it was wonderful for an Agatha Christie fan. So yes, I love it. So now I'm going to start with like the regular books that I've gotten, like all my novels and stuff like that I have gotten so far. So the first one I want to start off with is Murder on Sex Island by Joe Firestone. So this book seems really interesting. It has a bunch of things that I love. It takes place on an island. It's part of a reality TV show. There's a murder to be solved. So the moment that I saw this, I had to get it. And in this, basically, we are following a TV show that is called Sex Island. So I'm thinking this is like a Love Island kind of, you know, homage. And basically, someone is murdered, like on the show, and or they go missing. Someone goes missing, and so then they hire this detective, Luella Van Horn, to go undercover as a contestant in order to solve the mystery. So this seems like it's going to be kind of funny. it's got like, you know, kind of funny vibes. And it says that it's a Luella Van Horn mystery. So I'm guessing this is like a famous detective kind of a thing. I don't know if this is the first in a series. I'm not really sure. I picked it purely because of, you know, the premise and what's happening. But let me know if you've read this or if you have read another Luella Van Horn mystery. I've never read from this author either, but this sounds so, so cool. And this is kind of like a summer book, so I think I want to add it maybe for my September. Already September is not really summer, but we're still feeling like it's summer here in Miami. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that I can still kind of pull it off because it's pretty hot over here. So maybe I add this for my September TBR because I want to read this in the summer. Like it feels like something I'd want to read in the summer. So yeah, Murder on Sex Island. It sounds cool. So the next book that I ended up picking up was a murder mystery, Shady Hollow. I think that's what it is. Okay, so it's Shady Hollow. That's the name. So Shady Hollow. Uh, and this, and it's funny because it talks about Watership Down, which is such a cool children's book. So this, I believe, I've seen so many people talking about this, and I know there's like 5 or 6 books in the series. I've seen a lot of people talking about this series in particular, and it's kind of like a cozy murder mystery, kind of, you know, series where it's like anthropomorphic characters. I think it's like all animal characters, if I'm not mistaken, and they're trying to like solve a murder that happens in their thing. I like cozy and I like this kind of thing, but I've seen quite a few of the booktubers that I follow talking about it. And so I had to pick it up because everyone says such wonderful things. I did see Victoria from the Minimalist talking about, I think, book 5 or 6. I'm not really sure. But she spoke highly of the series, and there were a couple other booktubers that also mentioned them. I'll tag them in the description. But yeah, I'm excited to start this because everyone says it's so cute and it's cozy. So I don't know. I'm interested in seeing what it is. Normally speaking, I'm not the biggest fan of books that have animal main characters, but I want to try it. Like I want to see because my association usually with animal main characters is like little kids books, right? But this is like a murder mystery, and I know it's what makes it cozy, kind of a thing. But yeah, I'm very excited to try this series out, and if I love it, I'll obviously continue in the series. But this is super popular. Let me know if this is something that you are currently reading or you've read before. So the next book that I went ahead and picked up is A Murder on the Christmas Express. And this is by Alexandra Benedict. And I do have another kind of Christmassy murder book by the same author. I haven't read it yet though, but I do have another one. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to save this one and a couple others. I do have quite a few mystery books set in the Christmas time, and I'm going to save those to do a vlog during Christmas season or during December or whatnot. So this pretty much obviously reminds me of Murder on the Orient Express. It's cool. It says 18 passengers, 7 stops, 1 killer. So basically everyone is going on this train and it's in London, and it kind of crashes, I think, into the snow. So again, so many tropes that I like, guys. We have people stranded in close proximity to each other, trapped with a killer. There's inclement weather keeping them trapped. And you have to figure out, because they're dying one at a time, so we have to kind of figure out who done it before the next person dies. This just has all of these tropes that I enjoy and that I like. So I have high expectations for this one. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one and her other one, the murder game, I think it's called, something like that. I'm excited to try to read both of these during the winter time. The next book that I picked up, because it's everywhere and everyone is talking about this book and everyone is loving it, and I can't believe I didn't have it yet, and that is Victorian Psycho by Virginia Fado. This, guys, it's following like a governess who goes to this estate to keep, you know, to be with the children, educate the children, or take care of the children. And weird things are happening, and I feel like the kids might be weird, and she's kind of weird, and she's holding back like her like impulsive like thoughts or whatnot. I love anything that's kind of Victorian Gothic that has to do with weird, creepy kids. It's reminded me a little bit of The Turn of the Screw or The Turn of the Key, anything like that, you know? I think that this is gonna be like that. This cover is also stunning, right? Look at that, how cool that is. So yeah, I've heard a lot of people talking about this and really liking this. Look how cool that back part is. So I've heard a lot of people talking about this, and I'm excited to finally pick it up. And it's very, very short, so I think it'll be a very quick read. It is blurred by Katrina Ward, so that's promising. They also blurb it and compare it to a Daphne du Maurier meeting Shirley Jackson. Daphne du Maurier meets Shirley Jackson. I mean, you watch my channel, right? Unless you're new here. If you are, hi, welcome. I love both of those women, Daphne du Maurier and Shirley Jackson. And this book is comparing this project to both of those writers. So, I mean, my expectations are high. I hope I'm not disappointed. I'm excited. Have you read this? Let me know if you loved it. Am I gonna love it? God, I wish I'm gonna love it. I hope I'm gonna love this. So the next book I picked up is What Have You Done by Sherry Lapina. Quite a long time ago, a few years back, I read a Sherry Lapina for the first time ever, and I loved it. I loved the writing style. I loved the way she builds a mystery. I love what she does with characterization and making all the characters flawed and interesting and builds intrigue. So I've read a couple Sherry Lapinas and I have enjoyed, I think, all of the ones that I've read. The only thing is, I am known to buy all the Sherry Lapina books and not read them. Like I have so it's a similar problem to what I have with Lisa Jewell too. So very prolific authors, both of them. Every time they have a new book come out, I buy it and then I just sit on them for like a while. And then when I finally pick them up, I end up loving them. But for some reason, they like crank out more books than I can read. So right now I'm sitting on quite a few Lisa Jewell books I haven't finished, quite a few Sherry Lapina ones. But you know, I think I got this like at a good deal on Amazon. I'm not really sure. It was like more than 50% off, so I ended up ordering it. And basically, What Have You Done is taking place in a small town. And the whole point is that it's a very small, safe town where people don't have a care in the world. And then all of a sudden, like a girl goes missing and is murdered, and they find her. And that's really all I know about it. I'm intrigued because of the way she writes her characters and how cool her twists are. So I'm hoping that this is a good one. I'm not sure if this is her latest book or not. I'm telling you, she is an auto-buy author for me, but I buy the books and I kind of just leave them there. So I need to be better about that because she's an author I really like. And a lot of times I'll pick up a book by a new author to just test them out or whatever. And then I'm neglecting the authors that I know I've given 4 and 5 stars to before. Does that happen to you? Like, I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes I try out all these new authors, and then there's a huge backlist that I have now of some authors that I love, and I don't end up picking up their new stuff. So yeah, I ended up getting this one, and hopefully I can make time for this one and the other Sherry Lapina books I have. Okay, so continuing the murder mystery vibe that I have going on right now. I found this book on a suggested for you list, right? Like it was something like, oh, books you might like or something. I got an email or something, I clicked it, and I discovered this book. I'm not sure if this is a debut. Let me see. Okay, so this is this author's debut. If you guys remember, my favorite book this year has been You Are Fatally Invited. It's a debut. I am obsessed with that book. That book was like made for me. This book sounds like it's going to be something incredibly similar. And guys, if that happens, I'm living like my best life. If publishers are publishing these kinds of books more often and writers are writing these books more often, this is like my thing. Like this is exactly my favorite kind of book. So, the book is The game is murder, and you're invited to play, by Hazel Ward. So I haven't seen a single person talk about this on booktube. I haven't seen anyone talk about it. Again, it came up on an email or something of books you might be interested in. This was not on my radar. I've never seen anyone talk about it. Look at the back of this. It's totally giving me the Westing game vibes, all these things that I love, right? So let me show you, because I've actually like looked through it, because I'm so excited for this. Like, I need to read this next month. Like, I need to add this to my TBR for September. Basically, it says 13 suspects unlucky for someone. Then it says you are invited to a very special murder mystery party. The second person narrative gets me all the time. A murder mystery party, like the Clue vibes. The I just can't, guys. Like, this. I have such high expectations. I might cry. Like, I might never read this just because I don't want to be heartbroken if it's not wonderful. But then again, had I not read You Are Fatally Invited, which I was afraid of picking up for these same reasons, if I don't pick this up or read it, I may have not read then my new favorite book. So it says you are invited to a very special murder mystery party. The game is simple. Listen to the witnesses, examine the evidence, solve the case. Be careful, trust no one. All might not be as it seems. And then, guys, when you look in, first, it starts with like the preface is a warning. The reader is warned. Then it has like a map, like a little map of the building. And then it's divided into acts. Act 1. Then the title for chapter 1 is A Murder is Announced, which is, I'm thinking, like an allusion to Agatha Christie. Then we get our little invitation. Then it has some mixed media kind of stuff with like the various documents. I don't know, guys. I mean, then there's like pages like these, and that's it. Like, I can't look anymore. But I don't know. I feel like this is everything I could possibly want in a book. This might make You Are Fatally Invited be dethroned from my favorite book of the year so far. Please let me know. Have you heard of this book? Have you heard of it? Have you seen anyone talking about it? What have they said? Have you read it yourself? Talk to me. And if not, are you excited for this? We should read it together. I mean, this is just everything I think that I'm going to love. I think it's a little bit it's reminding me a little bit of, what's her name? There it is. Janice Hallett books. I think it might be something like that. I don't know. I'm really, really excited. The back even says a murder has occurred at 8 Broadway. The game to solve the case is afoot. The dinner guests, our hosts, the witnesses, the great detective, the clues, gambling chips, clock, woman's shoe, and then it's all the little things that are pictured here. That's all I'm going to say, guys. That's all I'm going to say, but I hope this is great. I think officially, I've already said I'm putting 2 things from here on my TBR for September. I have to. And this is why I didn't even want to haul these books, because every time I do a book haul, I immediately want to stop recording this and I want to go and start reading this. Like, book hauls do this to me because they remind me of all the reasons why I picked these books up in the library or I ordered them. And sometimes, like, we get so excited we order them or we get them from the bookstore and then we put them down somewhere and we forget. But in preparation for this book haul, now I'm remembering all the reasons why I got this book. So, yeah, I don't know. I really like this. I hope it's good. Continuing the murder mystery vibes, I went ahead and picked up The Framed Women of Armmore House by Brandy Schillis. I think that's how you pronounce that. Look at this cover, guys. I have had a knack lately for just finding these kind of murder mystery books that all have like the same vibe, and I couldn't be happier. This one's really cool. We're following, I believe, a neurodivergent protagonist, which automatically this reminds me of The Maid. I'm not sure if you guys have read that, by Nina Prose, I think is the author of that. I loved The Maid. I thought it was wonderful. So in this, we are following a neurodivergent book editor who's from New York, but she moves to London, and she purchases or inherits an estate. Yeah, that's possibly haunted, right? And so she moves in, and within a short while, one of the groundskeepers is found dead in her house. And then she obviously has to like solve the mystery and see if her own life is in danger and all these things. But very similar vibes to a lot of the books I've been talking about here, like an English manor or an estate, and then someone trying to solve like a murder or a mystery. Even physically, like a lot of the books, like the covers have like weapons and stuff like that. So there seems to be a pattern with these books that I've been buying lately. And you guys know I love horror, I love thrillers and murder mysteries. Like those, that's my jam. And so this looks to be promising. And again, this is another book that I don't know how I picked it up. I'm not sure if I saw it on the book at the bookstore and I liked it, but I have not heard anyone talking about this. But yeah, I'm excited for it. So the next book that I picked up is Midnight at the Houdini by Delilah S. Dawson. This is another book that has so many tropes that I love. In this, we are following this young girl who's at her sister's wedding, I think. Like her sister's getting married. She finds out that she's like moving and she's not going to be with her sister. And she's devastated because they have a really close relationship. So she runs off and then she stumbles into this Houdini hotel, which is like this beautiful hotel. And the hotel is like there's something weird about the hotel. Supposedly, like once you step into the hotel, like you're trapped there forever, like you cannot escape. So it has something to do with that, with it obviously has a speculative, I think, element to it. And so she's going to try to figure out how to escape before midnight, because if not, she's going to be trapped at the Houdini forever. I also love books that take place in hotels. I find hotels interesting locations or settings for mysteries. And I think this is gonna be like a mystery, a romance, a speculative, magical kind of thing. I think this is where it's going. I'm not really sure if this is YA though. I wonder if this is YA. I'm not really sure. But I think I'm gonna like the magical aspect of this. And again, this is another one of those I haven't heard a lot of people talking about, so I'm very intrigued. So, this next book I've been wanting to have for a really long time. I haven't purchased it simply because I didn't want to have it on my shelves and not read it soon. Like I wanted to buy it to read it. And unfortunately, this author is another one that's super prolific and that I have shelves and shelves of his books, and I haven't read a lot of them. Like obviously I've read from this author before and I love this author, but I think because his books are so long, I find them intimidating and I don't pick them up as often as I would like. So I find myself reading one or two only of his books a year, if that. And I have so many of them, but it was just time for me to get this, and I want to make time to read it very soon. You're probably thinking, okay, this author is super prolific. All his books are really, really long. You already know the kind of book I like reading, so you know this is going to be a Stephen King. So the book I ended up picking up finally was 11/22/63 by Stephen King. I've heard so many amazing things about this. A lot of people put this on their top 5 Stephen King books. A lot of people say that this is his best work, his best written book. And I'm just very intrigued. At first, I think because it was like a historical thing, I was not turned off by it, but I wasn't in a rush to pick it up. But throughout the last couple years, I've heard so many people talking about this in ways that I think I will enjoy. So I know we are following this man, right, who's like an English teacher. So automatically I like that and I'm interested. I'm an English teacher too. Like I want to meet this teacher. I want to know what, what the deal is. Then I know that he's like gonna time travel. And I love books with a time travel element, right? And it's not just time traveling, but it's like portal, right? And so basically what I know is that he's going to travel back in time to 11/22/63 to prevent the death of JFK. I believe that that's the premise of this. They say it's a beautiful love story. They say the characterization is great. And they say that it has everything. It has the love elements, the sci-fi elements, the horror elements. And I think I'm missing out if I don't read this soon. So I did purchase it. I do want to read this soon, um, because so many people love it, and I think I'll love it too. And I love Stephen King's writing. I think he's a wonderful storyteller. He does settings so well, that I think he's gonna nail this one. Let me know because I know a lot of you have probably read this. Should I start it soon? Like how quickly? Now that it's in my hands, now that I have it, should I prioritize it? How much? How long is this gonna take me? Actually, the font's pretty big, so it might not take me that long. But yeah, I'm excited to finally at least be able to have this on my shelves. Although it does take up like a lot, and I already have like 3 full shelves of Stephen King, so I'm gonna have to make some space for this one. But I'm excited to finally have it. So next, following that huge book, we have a very thin book, and that is Murder by Memory by Olivia Waite. And this is a tiny little murder mystery that I believe takes place in space. And I know that like the main character wakes up in the ship that she's in, and she's not in her body, like she's in someone else's body, and there's a murder that has happened, and so she's going to try to figure that out. That's really all I know, that it's like a space kind of story, and that you like switch bodies. So I think it's definitely like sci-fi, and yeah, it looks so cool. This is like a library, like floating in space. I really haven't heard much about this. I think I heard one or two booktubers talking about it. I think maybe was I think it might have been Mara from Books Like Whoa who talked about this. I'm not really sure, but I think that's where I heard someone first talk about it. And so I picked it up, and I think and I hope that I will like it. And it's so short. It's definitely something that I can squeeze in. It's a little under 100 pages. Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly 100 pages. So this will be like a quick little read. But again, a lot of murder mysteries, right? Speaking of more mysteries, I went ahead and picked up The Fellowship of Puzzle Makers by Samuel Burr. So this one first came into my radar on BookTube, and I was instantly intrigued because you guys know I love puzzles, and it's like a mystery too. So basically there's like a young man that's or a baby, I think, that's abandoned in this house, and it's like in a house of like puzzle makers or puzzle solvers or something. And so he grows up and he is tasked with like a puzzle, and the puzzle is deciphering like his parents and his background and where he came from, something like that. But I've heard really, really good things about this. So it's not super popular, but I know like the one or two people that I have heard talking about it really, really enjoyed it. So I'm kind of excited to see what this is all about. And the premise alone and the setting alone is something that I find really, really interesting. So hopefully this one is also a good one. So the next book I went ahead and picked up is Unhollowed Halls by Lily Wilkinson. And besides the murder mysteries and the horror and the thrillers, you guys know I love a good dark academia book. And I think that this is what this is about. I know it's definitely taking place in an academic setting. So the main character is like an outcast, and then she receives a scholarship to go to this Scottish boarding school, right? And she gets in, and she instantly like falls in love with the place. There's dusty books, and everyone is drinking like cups of black tea, and everyone engages in like intellectual debates and stuff like that. And she's happy to be there, but she finds out that the estate or the castle or the school has like a sinister plan, or something sinister is happening in there, and she has to try and figure it out or solve it. So I love a good book that takes place in a dark academic setting. Give me the school, give me the classes, and the halls and all of that stuff. I'm really, really into anything that takes place in that kind of setting. So again, this is one of those that I haven't heard a lot of people talking about, but I'm definitely intrigued. And this one might be YA. I think it is YA. I hope it's not too like angsty with a teenager drama. But I am excited for it. How many times have I said I'm excited for it? I mean, I'm excited for all these books. I bought them. So yes, I'm excited. And I'm going to keep repeating it, but it's just, I'm excited for all of them. So next, this is like hot off the press. I have Feral and Hysterical by Sadie Hartman. So you guys know, if you watch my videos, that I this year finished reading 101 books, 101 horror books to read before you're murdered, that book. And I loved it. I loved it because it was basically a huge list of recommendations of the best horror books to read, broken down by genre and category and subgenre and all of that. And it was wonderful. I picked up on so many recommendations. I ordered so many new books. I read so many new books because of that. And this is her newest book. And first of all, I love it because I have an autographed edition of this. And basically, it's Feral and Hysterical, Mother Horror, that's her name on Instagram and the socials. Mother Horror's ultimate reading guide to dark and disturbing fiction by women. God, I love this. Dark and disturbing fiction by women. And take a look at this. The Gothic castle and like this beautiful like Gothic romance heroine. And we have all of the little skulls. And let's talk about the inside, because these books are so beautiful. So look at the illustrations on these. So here she's recommending Jackal, and it gives you a little bit about the book. And then here are more books that are recommended. And it's a curated list of the different types of, sections or whatever. There's also like essays, which these are my favorite parts. This one is called The Horror is So Close, Fairy Tales and Horror Stories. And this one is by Christina Henry. So Christina Henry does like the essay that kind of kickstarts this section, right? And then here we get, of course, conversations about documentaries, cursed films, found footage. So all of these are books that have that as an element. And I love these kinds of books, guys. These kinds of books that like recommend to you books and tell you why you should read them. And look what I just flipped through. Look what's here, guys. Rebecca's there. That's it. Dropping the book. There's nothing else for me to tell you. Um, I'm excited for this project that is this book. I love anything that has to do with, the dark and disturbing fiction written by women. I love unhinged females in books and the element of horror that adds. I love all of it. And then, guys, the last book that I'm going to share with you today, because this video is getting very lengthy, and I told you I have to do like 2 or 3 parts of this book haul because it's just too much. The last book I'm going to share with you is this one, The Researcher's First Murder by John Finnemore. And this is a new Kane's Jawbone puzzle. And if you see, it comes in a box and the pages are loose in there. Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Cain's Jawbone, which was, I have that book, right? And but I have the book with all the pages like together. And basically, that's like a murder mystery kind of thing, a puzzle book that you have to put together the pages and know what order they go in order to solve. And it's almost like unsolvable, right? And I believe like they gave like a prize if you were able to solve it or whatnot. Well, in that same vein, this exists, right? And I believe this comes with all the pages loose inside for you to solve. And so basically, this is like the premise so that you know what it is. It says a body is found stabbed to death in a locked room. The police find no weapon, no motive, no suspects. However, the murderer has in their possession a box of 100 cryptic picture postcards, which, if perfectly understood, would explain not just this murder, but 9 others. These are the cards. So all 100 cards are in here, right? Solvers must rearrange the pages of the text to unravel the story and identify the murder, the victim, and the location for each of the 10 murders. They must also consider the separate puzzles presented by the curious images on the other sides. Can you explain the researcher's first murder? And they're all in here, like loose, the cards. How wonderful is this, guys? Like, how cool is this? I would love to know, did you read and try to solve Cain's Jawbone, the original of this? Like, have you done it? Like, I'd love to know. And have you heard of this one? Do you even know that this existed? Because I'm so excited for this. I'm ecstatic about it. Like, I can't wait to pick it up and open it up and do its thing. Right now it's sealed in plastic, obviously, so I can't show you the contents, but man, am I excited for this. So there you have it, guys. This is a piece of my huge book haul that, for time's sake, for the keeping your interest, I'm going to go ahead and kind of end here, but just note that there are more books that I have to haul, that I have to show you, but I'm just so excited to get to all of these. I haven't been this excited about a group of books I've hauled in like a long time. Like, all of these seem to be exactly the kind of book that I want to read, that I want to lose myself in, and I can't wait. I can't wait to add them to my TBRs and start reading them and reviewing them for you and letting you know what I think. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you and your time. Please make sure you like this video. Please make sure you're also subscribed to my channel. And let's talk in the comments down below. Let me know, have you read any of these? Did I convince you to buy them? Because that's what happens to me. I watch these kinds of videos and then I start buying all these books. So let me know if you're interested in picking any of these up. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me for today in this video. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye!